Hello and welcome to Gavilan Connects. I'm Professor Esmeralda Montenegro, and today we have a very special guest. Have you ever read one or two or maybe more of John Steinbeck's books? Perhaps you have, at least in high school. And did you know that the Steinbeck Center is in Salinas and that this year they're going to be celebrating the 32nd annual Steinbeck Festival? That's right. And to talk to us about that, with me today is our guest, Elizabeth Welden-Smith, and she's Curator of Education and Public Programs for the National Steinbeck Center. Hello and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We want to know a lot about this Steinbeck Festival. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself and what is it that you do for the Steinbeck Center?
So as you said, I'm the Curator of Education and Public Programs at the National Steinbeck Center. And basically what that means is that I create and curate lots of different types of programmatic events. So for school groups, for the general public, and across lots of different departments.
Okay, and the term curator is utilized in museums, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're creating.
Exactly. It basically, the reason that we use that term is that it does kind of give us a sense of multiple disciplines and creation. And we really, especially at the Steinbeck Center, want to focus on that, creating new and exciting and innovative programming.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people, ask why curator and not director. Mm-hmm. So curator is actually higher up than director. So
I would like to think
better,
so.
Right?
Yes, of course.
You're not only directing, you're creating all of these wonderful programs for the Steinbeck Center. And so the festival is coming up in May, mm-hmm. and we have a big banner here. It's May the 3rd through the 6th of this year. And tell us what to expect at this festival.
Well, this year's festival is actually really exciting because we are partnering with the Guthrie Archives and the Grammy Museum. And what's really great about this is we're able to incorporate not just literature, but also mm-hmm. music and the visual arts. So I think it's going to be a really dynamic and multifaceted group of events this year.
And for those people that don't know who Woody Guthrie is and the connection, perhaps, mm-hmm. With John Steinbeck. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Woody Guthrie is probably most well known for the song, This Land Is Your Land. He's one of the kind of great American folk singers. He was especially prolific during the Depression era, and that's also when Steinbeck kind of had his really took off. His literature really took off with Grapes of Wrath. Woody Guthrie wrote a few songs that were inspired by the Grapes of Wrath and other works by Steinbeck, and they both kind of were really these voices for the underdog in a time of great struggle, and mm-hmm. So we really see them as kindred spirits.
Exactly, and then the next question that they ask is, were they friends?
We keep trying to dig deeper into the archives to find the answer to that question. Just the other day, our archivist sent me an email saying, I think maybe they did meet at a book signing once, and but honestly, it doesn't look like they ever met. They wrote a lot about each other, and they definitely really respected each other, but I think they were ships in the night in a way, and never really connected.
They never connected
in person,
yes. But it seems they both had a lot of influence in each other's work.
Absolutely.
Right, and this year's theme is a voice, which we can see here. And very colorful, actually.
Very colorful, yes.
Who came up with those colors?
Well, it was a group process, I'll say that much, yeah.
So a voice, what is the intention behind this theme?
Sure, so when we look at both Woody Guthrie and John Steinbeck, and again, when I was saying, they kind of represented or spoke for the underdog, we really wanted to highlight that power of one voice and how one voice can change or impact the entire world. One song from Woody Guthrie would be played on radios across mm-hmm. the country, and how that would change and influence people. So that's what we're really trying to get at here is the single voice, the single person's voice, and how much power that can have.
And people would say, why Woody Guthrie and why this year?
Well, this year is actually the 100th celebration of Woody Guthrie's life. So it's his centennial.
Okay.
So there's there's a national tour of programming that's happening around his birthday and celebrating his life.
Great. So it worked out well with the theme and the Steinbeck Festival and having the Woody Guthrie centennial worked right into the program.
Yeah, it was a wonderful confluence of events. We're really happy that it turned out this way.
Yes, and what should we expect during these 4 days?
Sure. Well, it's jam-packed. There's 55 events in 4 days, so there's a lot going on.
Yes, it's a lot.
It is a lot. We have everything from tours to, the Red Pony Ranch, to musical events, art workshops, lectures, talks, panel discussions. It really runs the gamut. So I think there's something for everyone in the mix.
And how about music?
Well, in particular, there are a few key musical events. On our Thursday night, the opening night, we are going to be doing we're calling it kind of an open mic down in Carmel Valley, down at the Hidden Valley Music Seminars location, which is in a beautiful old barn. It's a great space. And Nora Guthrie is going to be there, some other members of the Guthrie family, a few people that grew up knowing Woody Guthrie, and they're all going to be kind of doing a musical tribute to his life, which is going to be really exciting. And then on the Saturday night, we're going to actually have Sarah Lee Guthrie and her husband performing at a centennial concert at the Steinbeck Center. So lots of music.
Well, it sounds like it's a lot of exciting events.
Yeah.
And how many people do you usually get during those days, especially that Thursday, that it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun, but the venue itself is quite small. So we're expecting honestly about 100 people. I think the venue capacity is 100. So if we get any more, I don't know what we're going to do with them. Yeah.
And for the rest of the festival?
We usually get between 200 and 300 participants. It just depends. Like I said, because we do have such a diverse range of events, different things attract different audience members. So.
And can you talk to us about some of the events and talks that you would recommend our audience?
Sure. One of the talks that is going to be really interesting is actually with Peter Haas, who's a local author, and he's actually grew up in Yosemite and is good friends of the Ansel Adams family. So Ansel Adams' son will also be coming to the panel and talking, and I'm really looking forward to that. They're going to kind of talk about their experiences growing up in Yosemite and how, and then the work they've done since then and how they feel that it's influenced the world. We're going to be having a really interesting author, Zachary Mason, who wrote the book, The Lost Books of the Odyssey, which is a New York Times bestseller. So he's actually reimagined the ending of the Odyssey in a series of different kind of chapters or vignettes, and it's really interesting. The book, honestly, you can't put it down, and he's a really dynamic speaker, so we're looking forward to him.
Great. And how about for the younger generation?
Sure. We have some what we call youth creative activities on Saturday. A lot of what we're doing is with digital storytelling. So an opportunity for students to take images or short films and narrate them to tell a short or a part of a story from their life. So we're doing both a workshop and then actually a presentation of student work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And that is on Saturday.
Saturday,
right?
May 5th, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how can they, the audience, if they want to buy a day pass or a 4-day passport?
Yeah.
Where do they go?
You can either give us a call at the museum store, or you can go onto brownpapertickets.com, and all the different events are listed there with the ticket prices. But like I said, people are always welcome to call the store and get more details and more information. And of course, also we have everything listed on our website in the most nauseating detail. So if you have any questions or want to see bios about our speakers or anything like that, it's all available on steinbeck.org.
Exactly, and we'll have that website for you later on and throughout this this newscast. Okay, so I think we will take a little break, and then when we come back, we have a lot more regarding this 32nd annual Steinbeck Festival, and what else does the National Steinbeck Center do in the community? So we'll be back after this.
The Teachers Learning Center. It's an opportunity for teachers to enhance their teaching skills. It's located in the library's mezzanine. It's a place where instructors can learn about Excel grading, iLearn, and much more. It's a perfect place to have a meeting or just a place to relax. It's open daily, Monday through Thursdays, 8:30 to 5 p.m., and Fridays, 8:30 to 3 p.m.
Welcome back. I am sitting with Elizabeth Welden-Smith, Curator of Education and Public Programs for the National Steinbeck Center. And today we're focusing on the upcoming festival in early May. And so there's, besides all of these workshops and all of these wonderful talks and music, there's also going to be exhibits opening.
Yes, that's right. We actually have 2 exhibits that are going to be open during the festival. The first is the Filipino Voices Past and Present. That's actually opening at the end of April, but it'll be open during festival. We're super excited about this exhibit. We've worked with the ACE in Salinas, which is the Asian Community Group, and they have done a series of exhibits, first the Chinese community, then the Japanese, and now we're doing the Filipino community. So the community themselves have actually come into the center and curated and chosen the pieces that they want to have displayed and the stories, and it's really coming together beautifully. We're very excited about it. And again, another opportunity to highlight the individual voice, you know, what are their stories, the community stories.
Exactly, and that's one of 3
yes.
exhibitions that have been
that have
displayed,
happened,
right,
exactly.
for the Asian community, and this is the 3rd.
Yes, this is the 3rd and the final one, although we are thinking about how we're going to continue doing these types of exhibitions in the future.
Yes, and if you haven't been to the Steinbeck Center and you haven't seen any of these exhibitions yet, you should come either during festival or around festival. But they just show you about the history of the Salinas Valley and the history of all these different cultures and the similarities to, you know, to the Caucasian community, to the Latino community. And it's amazing, you know, from the wardrobe to the food they ate to, you know, it's just amazing to learn something new every time. And then there's another one that we're going to have.
So actually on the Friday night, so May 4th, that evening is the opening of the Woody at 100 exhibit. And this is actually the exhibit that has been put together by the Grammy Museum and the Woody Guthrie Archives. They have collaborated and chosen some pieces of work that Woody songs that he's written, and actually sheet music, and then photographs and other personal mementos. So we're going to have that exhibit opening on May 5th, which should be a lot of fun, and we'll have the Guthrie family there in attendance. So we're really looking forward to that.
Exactly, another opportunity to learn something new, and it's not every day that a museum gets to have this type of collections.
Well, exactly. I mean, normally they're kind of under lock and key at the Grammy Museum. They're not on display very often, and there are pieces in this exhibit that are from the private family collection, and so we're really excited to have those on display as well.
Great. And of course, the John Steinbeck exhibition is going to be open as well.
Yes, which if you haven't seen it is so fantastic and really does a beautiful job of going over Steinbeck's life, his work, his influences. It's a really well done exhibit, and it's really beautiful.
Yes, so you're all welcome to come to the Steinbeck Center in Salinas. It's at 1 Main Street. So it's really close. You don't have to drive too far away. And with the Steinbeck Festival this year, there's also this really interesting aspect of the International Fringe.
Yes, the Fringe
Festival.
Fest. Yes. The Fringe Fest is actually something that's been going on for a few years now, but it's really starting to grow. And what we basically do is reach out to kind of brother and sister institutions across the world who love Steinbeck, love reading, love literature, and ask them to kind of join in the celebration. We have, we have bookstores in Prague who are participating. We have Sag Harbor Theater, which is, Steinbeck had his other home in Sag Harbor. We have participants in Australia, Africa, all over the globe. And everything from we're gonna show a film to we're gonna just raise a glass of wine and say, here's a toast to Steinbeck. We have groups who are writing poetry and participating in that way. We are doing simulcasts with some locations, so both groups will actually read the same book and then have a book discussion, at the same time with people from the other side of the planet. So it's exciting, and we're really happy to put Salinas out into the community and also bring the world into Salinas.
And how do these locations feel when you reach out to them and ask them to participate?
Oh my gosh, they're always so excited. They're bubbly and oh my gosh, it's the Steinbeck, and we're such fans, and we can't believe that we can be a part of this. And so they're super positive and enthusiastic. So it's always a really exciting part of the festival.
Yes, and I understand there's a bookstore in Argentina that was so excited that they wrote a poem.
They're the ones writing the poem, yes.
Yes,
yeah.
With a voice as their inspiration.
Yeah, so, the different locations all kind of approach it in a different way, but they jump on board and they're excited, and we love to see the different types of ways that they engage with the material and the theme, yeah.
Great, and how are these locations picked?
Well, it's a little ad hoc, honestly. We have a few locations that we've had ongoing relationships with, locations that we know were important to Steinbeck. For example, like I said, Sag Harbor. We also work with Bruton in the UK, which is where he went to write when he did his translation of the King Arthur tales. But some of these are, like I was saying, bookstores or literary places that have their own history, that they want to, literary history, that they feel is kindred to that of Salinas. So it's a shared feeling, I think.
And I think it's really interesting, and going with the theme, providing them with a voice and participation in this type of festivals that happen in the United States.
Absolutely.
So if they cannot make it here, at least they're participating in that small or big way.
Yes.
And it's so much fun for them, and
and
so important.
We like the idea that our celebration is extending past our own, city limits, that it's larger than ourselves, and to know that there are people out there who are excited and enjoying everything that we're doing at the same time it's a wonderful feeling, and it's good to know that Steinbeck is so appreciated worldwide.
Exactly. No, it's incredible how many people know of him. And the books, I have a few of them here. I have The Red Pony, I have The Grapes of Wrath, and I have The Pearl. And these are just three of Oh my goodness, how many does he have?
A lot of them.
A lot of them.
Plus a bunch of other essays that he wrote or short stories. So these are three of the most popular ones. And back to the festival, there's Sunday. Sunday is a free day for Monterey County residents.
Yes, it is. Sunday's going to be a really we're focusing more on family, and that day on Sunday, we know that parts of the festival can seem a little heavy on the academic side, and so we really wanted to make sure we offered something to families with young kids. We are going to be doing art workshops for younger students. We're going to be doing music, bilingual storytelling. We'll be doing the simulcast with Breton on Sunday, so that's going to be very exciting to hear what the UK has to say about everything that's going on in the world of Steinbeck. It's going to be a busy day, but really upbeat and fun, and like you said, free for Monterey County residents.
Great, and that's an entire day.
Yeah,
10
all
to 5.
Day. 10 to 4:30 is when the last event ends, but let's just say 10 to 5.
10 to 5. Yes, they're going to be having so much fun that they're not going to want to leave at 4:30.
I'm sure
right?
they won't. Yes, I'm sure they won't.
And would you say that the Steinbeck Festival is more academic?
I think in the past that it has had the reputation of being very academic, scholarly, perhaps even snobby. But what we've really tried to do the past few years, and especially with this year's festival, is bring out the side of it that is really about ideas, creativity, art, expanding beyond just strict literature. What Steinbeck was about was so much more than writing a big fat novel that someone has to get through in their 9th grade English class. He was really about challenging people's preconceptions, asking tough questions. He celebrated the common man, and we really want to celebrate these things. And that's what we're going to try to do this year, and I think it's exciting, and I think that as the festival moves forward, that is going to become increasingly our focus. How do we engage the community in this process?
Exactly. And you've been doing a lot of marketing and advertising, and I see these little cards.
Yes, so if you see the cards out there, these are for our festival. Just a way to get people to think about the different topics we're going to have this year.
Yes.
Discovering new places, books, arts, ideas,
Yeah.
and again, this idea of change. So how a voice has an idea to change
Exactly.
a heart, a mind, the world even. The other thing that's, I'm sorry, I was going to say has changed this year is our date.
Exactly, yes.
Yes.
I was going to ask about that. It used to be in August, right?
Yes, we've always been in August, and it's a great time of year for festivals. However, we really missed the opportunity to engage with schools. And that's something that we really wanted to make sure we did this year, and that we do in the future. We want to be a resource for our local schools, and when they're not in session, it's very hard to get the students and teachers, together in one place at one time.
Exactly.
So we are, this year, we're trying out May, and it looks like that's what we're going to be doing in the future. We have set the dates for the 2013 festival, so May 2nd through 5th, so mark your calendars, everyone.
Yes.
But we're really excited about May, and we're doing actually some really interesting outreach programs with local schools and the Grammy Museum and the Woody Guthrie Archives. So we're actually going into the schools and doing programming. So we're really excited about that.
No, that's great that you use your guests and to go into the community and do talks this way. How is that programmed, and what happens? Do they go into the classrooms, or is there they go into the auditorium?
Yes, it's more like a large assembly, but we're doing a series of assemblies, and the topic is basically to just explore kind of who was Woody Guthrie, and then also look at who was John Steinbeck, and to look at the similarities between the two artists. We're also doing a really interesting, what I should preface this with is we are doing more and more outreach with festival. Most of the events do happen at the National Steinbeck Center, but there are those that happen outside of the building.
Correct.
We have the author Susan Straight, who just published the work Highwire Moon, and she is actually going to be doing 2 different talks, one at Hartnell, and the other is actually going to be down in Greenfield. And again, we're just trying to push those boundaries a little bit, get our speakers out there and into the community so that folks who can't come to us, we can at least try to go to them.
Exactly. Great. And so with this events, for someone who has never read John Steinbeck and doesn't know who Woody Guthrie is, how would you motivate them to attend and be enriched?
Sure. I think that the one thing that this festival really has is something for everyone. If the panel on the deeper implications of East of Eden isn't really exciting you, come to this Thursday night opening concert. We're having wine tasting, we're doing s'mores on a bonfire. I mean, who doesn't enjoy that?
Yes.
The music is fun, it's upbeat, and there really is, I feel, something for everyone. And what we've tried to do with the ticketing this year is allow opportunities for people to come to just one event. So if you don't want to go to the whole thing, if you just see one talk you're really interested in, just go to that, get a taste for it. And maybe next year you can come back for a few more.
Exactly. And we have a lot of professors, students who watch the show, community members. So we want to motivate them to attend and take advantage of this. It's right here. It's in Salinas. It's close, so they can get all the information on the website at steinbeck.org and get all the details about all the talks.
Yes. And we do offer some talks that are kind of what we call our 101. So Steinbeck 101 or Grapes of Wrath 101. So if you really just want to explore or get kind of the overview, you can do that. You don't have to go to the deeper analysis if that's not where you're comfortable yet. So,
exactly.
Yeah, again, something for everyone.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth, for being here with us and letting us know about Festival, the 32nd annual Steinbeck Festival this year in May. And if you would like more information about this festival and all the other programs offered at the Steinbeck Center, you can visit them online at www.steinbeck.org. And this has been another Gavilan Connects newscast. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.